The night he first came to my window, I thought I was dreaming. The second night, I realized dreams don't breathe like storms and look at you as if you're the only truth they've been searching for. Dante wasn't supposed to be real. Darkness like that doesn't walk on two legs, doesn't whisper your name like it owns the air between you, doesn't leave you trembling without ever touching you. Yet he did, and he would continue to do so every full moon after that, as if the white glow in the sky dragged him back to me against his will. I should have been terrified, but when Dante's shadow fell across my window frame, something in me whispered that he was here for me, not to hurt me but to change me in ways I wasn't ready for. I didn't know then that he already had. The night the story truly began wasn't one of those window visits. It started weeks before, when I first met Enoch at the edge of Hollow Ridge, where the forest pressed so close to the town it felt like it was listening. He was the new volunteer at the community center where I worked part-time after classes. People said he was quiet, strange, always lingering near the tree-line before dawn. But all I saw was a boy who carried his silence like a secret he wished someone would ask him about. He caught me staring. That was the first thing he ever said to me. His voice was soft, steady, but carried something layered, like he was holding two languages in one breath. I didn't deny it. Something about him pulled my attention like gravity. And when he smiled barely, just a tug at the corner of his mouth, it felt like a door opening. Enoch worked efficiently, almost too efficiently. He had reflexes that didn't match his lean frame. He moved like he was always listening to something deeper than the room around him. Even then, I should have known he wasn't normal. But I was too distracted by the warmth that bloomed in my chest every time he stood close enough for me to hear him breathe. We grew close fast, effortlessly, like our lives had been orbiting the same point without realizing it. He'd stay with me after shifts, helping clean up, talking in cryptic pieces about the woods, the moon, the way destiny wasn't a concept but a force, one you felt on your skin before you understood it. I'd laugh thinking he was poetic, maybe dramatic, but he would watch me with those silver-washed eyes like he was memorizing my pulse. "You don't believe me yet," he said once, leaning against the table with his sleeves rolled up, revealing veins that pulsed too strong, too warm. "But you will." A week later I met Dante. Not the boy at the center, not the quiet shadow who followed me with gentle patience. No, Dante was the storm. It happened on a night thick with fog, when the moon was just beginning to swell into its full shape. I had stayed late at the center, locking up after everyone left, and was halfway down the sidewalk when a sound sliced through the air. A deep, animal growl that vibrated through my bones before it reached my ears. I froze. The street was empty, too empty, and then I saw him. A figure at the edge of the parking lot. Tall, broad-shouldered, breath steaming in ragged bursts. His eyes glowed faint gold in the dim light, catching mine with a ferocity that halted my heart mid-beat. He stepped forward and light hit his face. Handsome, impossibly so, in a way that felt carved rather than born. Messy dark hair, sharp cheekbones, lips drawn tight as if fighting the urge to speak or snarl. "You shouldn't be out alone," he said. But it wasn't a warning. It was a claim. I should have run. I should have called for help. Instead, I whispered, "Who are you?" His jaw clenched, muscles tightened, and when he grabbed my wrist, his hand was scorching, like a fever living beneath his skin. "You feel it, don't you?" I yanked back, startled by the intensity. "Feel what? Me?" He said it like a confession, like a surrender, like a curse. That was the moment I realized Dante wasn't human. Not entirely. His shadow stretched wrong against the ground, like it belonged to something on four legs. But before I could react, before fear could catch up to comprehension, another voice cut through the night. "Let him go." Enoch. I hadn't even seen him approach. One moment the fog was static, the next he was walking through it with eyes brighter than I'd ever seen. Pale gold, sharp as a blade being unsheathed. His normally calm expression was gone, replaced by something wild, primal, possessive. Dante dropped my wrist as if burned. This isn't your territory, Dante growled. It became clear then these two knew each other, and what they were wasn't just human. Enoch moved between us, his stance low, protective, trembling with a tension I couldn't decipher. You don't get to choose him, Dante, Enoch said. The moon doesn't choose for us. But he chose me. Dante's voice cracked, his eyes flicked to me, carrying something like pain, like longing sharpened into desperation. Enoch stepped closer until they were chest to chest. He's not yours. Not yours either. The air split with a snarl, actual, raw, animalistic. My body reacted before my mind, stumbling back, pulse racing so hard I could barely hear. Stop, I shouted. Both heads snapped toward me, eyes burning. I don't know what this is, but I'm not a prize. I'm not something you fight over. Enoch's expression softened instantly, breaking. Dante's hardened further, as if my words hurt him more than the confrontation. Neither said another word, but something had shifted, something that felt like a line being drawn in blood. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying their voices, their faces, the way my wrist still burned where Dante touched me. And at 2 a.m., when the moon climbed high enough to stain my room silver, the tapping began. Slow, deliberate, rhythmic. At my window. My breath stuck in my throat. He stood there outside the glass, Dante. No fog, no shadows, just him, staring at me with eyes that held storms and apologies. I had no idea how he climbed to the second floor, or how he knew where I lived. He lifted his hand and touched the window, palm flat, the faintest tremble betraying the chaos inside him. I didn't come to hurt you, he said through the pain. I came because I have to, because part of me is already yours. My chest tightened, fear mixed with something dangerously close to sympathy. Tell me what you are, I whispered. He shook his head. Not what, who? His voice cracked again. I'm Dante, the one who marked you before I even knew your name, the one the moon keeps dragging back to you, and the one who's trying, God, I'm trying, not to let destiny ruin your life. I swallowed hard. Why me? His answer was immediate. Because you're the only thing that's ever quieted the wolf in me. But the story didn't end that night. In truth, it began there. At the window, under the moon, with a boy and a beast who lived in the same skin, fighting the same pull, both drawn to me in ways none of us understood yet. And somewhere far beyond the treeline, I could feel Enoch's gaze too. Watching. Waiting. Knowing that the hardest truth was still ahead of me. That only one of them was telling the full truth. The next morning felt wrong before I even opened my eyes. The sunlight was too bright, the air too still, like the world was pretending nothing had happened while the echoes of last night still clung to my skin. My wrist throbbed faintly where Dante had grabbed me, an invisible reminder of his touch, his desperation, his confession at my window. I sat up slowly, replaying every word, every sound, every tremor in his voice. Part of me wanted to shove it all away, pretend it was a hallucination shaped by sleeplessness and moonlight. But the truth lingered in my bones. Something inside me had shifted, like the ground beneath my life had cracked open and I hadn't yet seen how deep the fracture went. And then there was Enoch. He had always been a riddle, a quiet mystery wrapped in gentle warmth. But last night he was fire, untamed, fearless, angry, protective. His eyes had glowed with the same unnatural gold as Dante's. His posture had been predatory in a way I had never seen before. It didn't make sense. None of it made sense. I needed answers, but I wasn't sure I was ready for them. At the community center, Enoch was already there, leaning on the hallway wall, his arms crossed and his eyes focused on the floor as if deep in thought. He didn't look up when I approached, but he must have sensed me because he straightened instantly, body tense, jaw tight. You didn't sleep, he said softly. Neither did you. His lips twitched into something almost like a smile, but it disappeared as quickly as it came. He reached out as if to touch my wrist, hesitated, then let his hand fall. Did he come back after I left? I swallowed. The truth lodged thick in my throat. He came to my window. Enoch closed his eyes, a pained breath slipping out. Damn it. Why does he keep doing that? He's marked you. Enoch's voice was barely above a whisper, but the weight of the words hit like a blade. Marked. The same word Dante had used, the one I still didn't understand. What does that mean? Enoch met my gaze, really met it, and for the first time, the fear in his eyes wasn't for himself. It means he's claimed you as his destiny, as the one the moon binds him to. He thinks you belong to him. I stepped back instinctively, my heart racing. That's not possible. I'm human. And Dante, you think this is about species? Enoch's tone sharpened, frustration bleeding into it. Destiny doesn't care what we are. And Dante, he never learned how to fight it. He feels something, a pull, and he obeys it, without question, without thinking about what it means for you. But you knew too, I whispered. Last night, the way you looked at me, the way you talked to him. Enoch's jaw tightened. I knew something was happening to him. I didn't know it involved you until it was too late. What about you? The question escaped before I could stop it. His eyes flickered. What about me? Are you like him? The silence stretched, thick, heavy. Yes. The word was soft, a confession, a surrender. I exhaled shakily. Tell me what you are. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. I would never hurt you, not like Dante could, not like Dante already has. That's not an answer. The hallway lights flickered, and his eyes darkened. Not golden, not glowing, but deeper, wilder. Whatever Dante is, Enoch said, I'm different. Different how? He hesitated. And that hesitation told me everything. He didn't want me to be afraid of him. He didn't want me to see him as dangerous. But I already knew something lived under his skin, something he kept chained with careful discipline. Before either of us could speak again, the center's director walked by, calling for volunteers to help unload supplies. Enoch stepped back immediately, putting distance between us like he was afraid even proximity could drag me deeper into this world I didn't understand. But I already felt pulled. Already entangled. Already claimed, though I didn't know by whom. We worked through the morning in strained silence. Enoch kept close, always watching, always alert, like Dante might walk through the door at any moment. Every time someone passed too quickly, every time a shadow shifted outside the window, Enoch's body tensed in anticipation. It wasn't paranoia. It was instinct. I tried to focus on the tasks, on stacking boxes, sorting papers, sweeping floors, but every movement felt hollow. My thoughts kept drifting to the woods, to the growl that had echoed through the fog, to Dante's burning hand around my wrist and the way he whispered my name like a confession. By noon, I couldn't take the silence anymore. Enoch. He looked up immediately. Meet me tonight, after your shift. His eyebrows arched. Where? The forest edge. His expression darkened. That's not a good idea. It's the only place Dante seems to appear, and I need answers. You can get answers from me right here. I shook my head. No, I need both of you. Something flared in Enoch's eyes. Something jealous. Frantic. It's not safe. I swallowed. I don't feel safe anywhere else. Enoch clenched his jaw. Then I'm going with you. I didn't argue. I didn't need to. He would have followed me even if I said no. That evening, the sky turned an unsettling shade of violet, clouds drifting across the horizon like bruises forming in slow motion. The air felt charged, humming with electricity that prickled across my skin. As I approached the woods, I felt it. The faint pull, like something in the trees had already noticed me. Enoch arrived silently from the opposite direction, hands shoved into his jacket pockets, shoulders tense. "Stay close to me," he murmured. We hadn't even taken 10 steps into the trees when a low growl echoed through the shadows. Enoch reacted instantly, stepping in front of me, body rigid. His breathing changed, deeper, sharper, each inhale vibrating with the effort to stay in control. Dante emerged from behind a fallen log, moonlight striking him like he was carved from it. His hair was messy, his clothes torn as if he had been pacing, fighting himself, wrestling with instincts I couldn't imagine. His eyes locked onto mine, gold, bright, desperate. "You came." His voice cracked with relief, hope, hunger. Enoch snarled, a sound so animalistic it froze my blood. "Don't speak to him like that, Dante. You're scaring him." Dante's eyes flicked to him, then narrowed. "You brought him here." Enoch stepped closer, back arched like he was ready to lunge. "He didn't bring me," I said quickly. "I asked him to come. I wanted to talk to you both." Dante's attention snapped back to me, instantly softening. "You shouldn't be here. It's too close to the full moon. Too close to what I become." "Then tell me," I said, heartbeat pounding. "Both of you, tell me the truth." They exchanged a look, not hostile this time, just heavy, loaded with years of history I didn't know. Dante spoke first. "We're wolves, not like the stories, not cursed, not monsters. We're born like this, a lineage older than the towns built around our forests. And you," Enoch said, "were never meant to get caught in the middle of us." The middle of what? Their silence answered for them. Conflict. A rivalry. Something ancient and dangerous. I turned to Dante. "What did you mean you marked me?" He approached slowly, cautiously, as if I were something fragile. "The wolf recognizes what the human doesn't yet. When I first saw you, something inside me recognized you, claimed you, without my permission." I stepped back. "Claimed me how?" Dante swallowed hard. Emotion flickered across his face. Pain, longing, fear. "You're my fated bond, my destiny." Enoch made a sharp sound of disgust. "Destiny isn't something forced." "You wouldn't know that," Dante hissed. "You've never felt it like I do. The pull, the need, the hunger to protect something so much it hurts." "It's not love," Enoch snapped. "It's instinct, and instinct isn't truth." Dante's breathing grew rougher. "You think I don't know the difference?" Their voices grew harsher. "Wild, too wild." "Stop," I said, stepping between them. "Dante, tell me why you come to my window." "Because I can't help it. Because when the moon rises, the bond drags me to you. Because I'm terrified of what I'll become if I stay away." He reached toward me, then stopped inches from my face, trembling. "And because you're the only thing that makes me feel human." My breath caught. Then I turned to Enoch. "And you, what are you to me?" Enoch's expression broke, quietly, painfully. "I'm the one who found you first. I'm the one who watched you long before Dante saw you. I'm the one who loves you without instinct telling me to." The forest went silent. Even the wind stopped. Dante's eyes widened. "You didn't tell him." "I was going to." "You had years." Enoch's voice trembled. "And I never claimed him. I never invaded his life. I let him choose, the way you never did." Dante took a step back like he'd been slapped. "I didn't choose this." "Neither did I." Their eyes met, two storms colliding. Then both storms turned to me. I felt the weight of their truths pressing down on my ribs, making it hard to breathe. Dante's destiny, Enoch's love, two forces pulling me in opposite directions. But before I could speak, before I could even inhale, a branch snapped deep in the woods. All three of us froze. A sound followed, low, rumbling, heavier than Dante's growl. Enoch's eyes widened. That's not one of us. Dante's expression darkened. We need to get him out of here. Enoch grabbed my arm. Move, now. The trees rustled violently, as if something huge was weaving through them at terrifying speed. Dante stepped between us and the sound, muscles tensing, every vein glowing faintly silver under his skin. Enoch pushed me behind him. Stay low. What is it? I whispered. Their answer came in unison, both voices laced with dread. An unbound wolf. A rogue. A monster even wolves feared. Dante bared his teeth. Get him out, Enoch. I'm not leaving you. You have to. And then the creature lunged out of the darkness. Massive, snarling, eyes feral and empty, and Dante met it head-on, shoving it away before it could reach me. The impact shook the ground. Enoch grabbed my hand and ran, pulling me through the trees as snarls and screams tore through the forest behind us. Branches whipped my arms. Leaves blurred past my vision. My chest burned as if the air had teeth. Enoch didn't let go, didn't slow, didn't look back. When we finally reached the clearing, I collapsed onto the grass, gasping. Enoch knelt beside me, his breathing frantic. We have to go back. No, Dante is alive. He has to be. But his voice shook, his hands trembled. He wasn't sure, not even close. And then, just as panic threatened to swallow us whole, a howl split through the night. Not feral. Not rogue. Raw, defiant, familiar. Dante. Alive. But the howl didn't end in triumph. It ended in pain. In loss. In warning. Enoch stiffened. They're coming. Who? His voice was almost too soft to hear. The wolves who think Dante broke the laws. The wolves who will come for him. And for you. My blood turned cold. Because you've been marked. The truth crashed over me in one chilling wave. My life wasn't just changing. It was unraveling. And the moon hadn't even reached its peak yet.